Hello everyone. The next question I have received is to find the differences between the data privacy notice and consent. And the question says that do I need to serve the notice when I'm taking a consent? And so what is specifics? When do I need to serve the notice? And when in what cases I just rely on the consent? Okay. So find the question is basically, I understand that you are confused about the notice and the applicability of notice. So even if you are taking the consent of the data subjects, the notice applies, right? So basically, notice is a instrument which is used to share the information about what data you are collecting as a part of this. Maybe if it is a registration process or somebody is submitting a form. Right, so notice is basically what all information we are collecting, what we'll do with this information, how long we'll store this information, and with whom we'll share this information, whether the information will be sent to different jurisdiction, right, or stored in different jurisdiction, or if the information, the data you are sharing will be used for automated processing, right? So these are the aspects that we cover in the notice. And in the notice, we also cover two more things. One is who the controller is, means who is actually making the decisions, all the decisions, what is being written in the notice, that about what information is being collected, how long it is stored, who is the decision maker. That means the entity or the controller, the details of the controller need to be mentioned. And also we need to specify that what are the rights of data subjects, right? So that also the controller need to disclose to the data subject. So notice is this instrument to inform the data subject about what data is being collected and how this will be utilized. While the consent is a very specific one of the lawful basis that we are requesting their permission that we want to process their data. Fine, whether it is a case of consent or if it is not a case of consent, the notice always applies. Fine. If let's say you are collecting the data for legitimate interest, or you are collecting the data as a part of the contract, in that case also you have to serve the notice. Fine. So notice maybe if you're not getting data directly from data subjects, if you're collecting data from data subjects, there will be a form people will fill up, and as a part of the form you should be publishing your notice as a part of the form. Fine. While if we are collecting data from some other party, fine, if you're not collecting data directly from data subjects, then also notice is served. Fine. So before you consume the data, fine, before you start utilizing the data, fine, before you start processing the data, fine, you have to tell the data subjects by sending a notice, data privacy notice, that we have received your data from so and so party for so and so purpose, and this is what our specifics are. Right. So this is how the notice works basically. While the consent is just one of the lawful use case, right? And also the kind of the consent is basically is revocable. Fine. While the notice is just that we are sharing the information with them, and this is basically the data subject may acknowledge. Fine. You may have a checkbox that I acknowledge, fine, or may have a checkbox that I have read. And while in the consent, it has to be clearly specified that yes, I agree or I consent to your data collection, and and I understand that how this person, how all the specifics or notices are basically. So the language you write, for example, if you have a checkbox, fine, in the language you write there, fine, whether you are just taking the acknowledgement of people or you're taking the consent of the people, that language makes the difference in the acknowledgement of the notice and taking the consent. Fine. But behind these two, fine, the notice can be same. Fine. In case of consent, it will be clearly mentioned the lawful basis of this data processing will be your consent, and you can withdraw it anytime. Right. While it is a notice, for example, lawful basis is a contract compliance, fine, or any other legal compliance or legitimate interest, then the notice will specify that we are collecting this information because we have this specific legitimate interest. Fine. So in the notice, it is more of a information what we are collecting, why we are collecting, how long we will retain this information, with whom we will share this information. Fine. And while the consent is specifically asking their permission, which the data subject gives it today, and tomorrow it can revoke as well. Fine. So that's the difference. So notice is and consent is not like interchangeable. Fine. In consent also the notice applies. You will publish a notice and you will take the consent as well. While if the consent is not the case, notice is still published and still shared with the data subjects. Fine. This is the primarily how you can like differentiate this. So notice is mandatory, and while the consent is one of the 6 lawful basis of the collecting and processing personal data. Fine. I hope I'm able to explain it well. And if you have further questions, please ask me through Ask Me a Question. Thank you so much for watching.